Hey all, so something a bit different this time. Figured since I was asked to do a reward opening at the end of season 26, um, the biggest item on that list is usually, opening a bunch of 6 stars, sometimes feature champions, and I am just not doing that right now because I have decided that the upcoming feature crystal is going to be much better for my account, and I am saving for that. So here you see the various T5CC I have. I'm actually fairly lucky at the moment because I have, mutant, science, tech, and I am within spitting distance of forming, skill, mystic, and cosmic. So I'm pretty well off, and while I plan to use the selector that I get from 7.2 to get mystic if season rewards don't get me there, I'm not really worried about any of these. I'm going to have what I need to make moves on the tier 5 department pretty easily for a while. So let's take a look at what some of the actual options are. So if you've been watching my channel, you have some idea what my champions are in various classes. In science, I've gotten incredibly lucky to have Reed and Torch, which are both fantastic rank 3 options and form something of a backbone to the rest of my roster. But as you can see, it does drop off a bit after that. Wasp and Captain America Infinity War are both great, but Wasp is not quite good enough nor important enough for what I need for me to take her to rank 3 right away. Captain America, I generally do want duped, and, while I like Luke, I don't think any of the ones after that are really worth my consideration. So then we have skill, where I only have Killmonger at the moment, and honestly would probably want to pull someone else before taking them to rank 3. Kingpin is very good, and I do have a rank 5 hood, and Massacre is so much fun. I absolutely love playing him, but I don't feel like I need either of them at rank 3 right now. Black Panther could be an option duped, Crossbones could be an option duped, but again, not really going for any of them right now. So Mutant, like we talked about, Apocalypse is obviously my crown jewel. I took up Storm X as well because I love playing her. I'm seriously considering White Magneto and Psylocke both, actually. I know a lot of people here will say, well, why don't you take up Colossus? Colossus is awesome. I'm just not a big fan. I don't really enjoy playing him. I don't like bringing as many synergies as I feel like he needs to truly be competitive. But the biggest thing is just that I have more fun with champions like Psylocke or White Magneto. And, what I would really love is to pull Cable because while he is kind of a parry heavy champ, he's a very good one. You can do a lot with him. I would love to dupe Omega Red and start the long, slow climb towards him being useful. But my number one ask in the mutant side of things is an Archangel followed by Professor X. So maybe I can get one of those at some point. For now, I'm in no rush. So Cosmic might be the most contentious one. Cosmic Ghost Rider was an easy rank because he has solid prestige and is fun to play with, and I happen to awaken him naturally. For the rest of these, though, I'm not going to rank Corvus. I'm not if I can help it. He's not duped, so I don't have that utility. I don't normally run suicides, so he's just not really worth it. I would easily rank 3 Nova if I duped him, because I currently place him on defense anyway. And I would at least consider taking Angela to rank 3, because I do have a 5-star Odin, and I can pump her up that way, and she's a lot of fun. Tech, I already have Mysterio and Warlock. That covers most of what I need. I will probably take up Ghost in the future, but not right now, because I still have a Sig 200 5-star, and I can get more L2s off with her than I can with a rank 3, even if those L2s hit harder. It just doesn't feel worth it to me. Someday I will, but not now. And then these others, I'm not sure. I like Punisher 2099. I don't hate Sentinel. I have some options, but I'm not, again, the theme here is I'm not in any rush on any of them. Mystic, I am so lucky to have pulled Tigra, pulled Claire. I used a gem on Tigra, and I've now given her enough stones that she is Sig 100. Um, I know that that is just considered crazy by a lot of people, but I love playing her. Her prestige is the best after Dooms, and she crushes it. She feels so useful, and she is the only rank 3 Tigra in my battle group, and I believe in my alliance, whereas we have like 6 or 7 rank 3 Dooms. That said, of course my next Mystic is going to Doom now that I have him. I didn't have him when I invested all those resources in Tigra. So of course my next one's going to Doom. I actually have a gem for him as well, but I am not in a rush to pull the trigger on that because it would take so long to get his Sig up to match hers. And yes, I could have sat on the Sigs, sat on the Awakening Gem until I pulled Doom, but I don't enjoy playing the game that way. I like to be patient, as you've gotten from how many times I've said in this video, I'm in no rush. But I do still think that you should ultimately rank champions that you enjoy playing, and you should rank what you have to an extent. You know, I do have another T5CC now, or sorry, I almost do for Doom, so I didn't lose out that much by not ranking him. As for the rest below this, I don't dislike Longshot, he's fun, but again, fitting the theme, not in a rush for anyone below that. So anyway, on to the rewards. We did finish Platinum 1, as you would know if you've followed any of my recent war videos. That was a bummer for a number of reasons we won't go into, but, you know, still got some 6-star shards, got some extra Tier 2 Alpha, which is always nice, and, of course, got some T5CC. So that's where my current 6-star stash is. You know, it'll be pretty easy for me to get to 6 feature pulls for the next one. I'm hoping to get to, you know, 8 or 9. I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibility. But for now, I'll just open these. So you saw how close I was to a couple different ones. Mutant is exactly what I wanted. Skill is exactly what I wanted. Or sorry, I actually showed you earlier after these pulls, so that's where I am now. But you can still see that these were fairly good balanced pulls that took me close to the next fully formed ones. Except, of course, for Mutant, but it seems like anytime I open more than one T5CC Fragment Crystal now, I am going to get some Mutant, and I've just resigned myself to that. It's going to mean that I eventually have a rank 4 Apocalypse, I think, and that's not a bad thing. So, I mentioned I'm going to take up Doom as soon as possible, so I figured I'd just go ahead and blow all these 5-star shards that I got from the season on picking up some Mystic ISO. And I managed to pull Immortal Abomination here, who is a new 5-star champion. That's good. He's fantastic. I have a huge stash for my level of account of 5-star Science Awakening gems. I can't seem to not pull them. So he'll probably go up at some point when I have the alpha to spare. So alright, I'll get a Mystic dupe on the next one. Nope. Red Guardian. Also a 5-star champion that I did not have. And taunting me with him also being Science. I like Red Guardian. I don't plan on ranking him because I figure by the time he eventually gets the value update he probably needs, I may have the 6-star. Oh well. So that could have been an Immortal Abomination dupe, but like I said, I have the gem, old Spider-Gwen, who I also somehow did not have after all this time, as either a 5 or a 6-star. She had always been one of those, you know, well, who's the champion that you can't seem to pull? For me, it was Spider-Gwen. Now I have her. So I'm like, alright, ISO on this next one. Void, who's Max Sig. And you know what? That's okay, because it's Max Sig, and that means more 6-star shards, right? Wrong. Later I opened that, and I got a Tech Awakening gem. This was kind of a comedy of errors, and that's the only reason that I included it in this. But at least I got the 6-star shards from duping Void, although not the Mystic ISO I wanted. Alright, so last chance for Mystic ISO. Rolls over Spider-Gwen to MODOK, who I also somehow did not have as either a 5 or a 6 star after all this time. What can you say? I think in light of that, I'm extremely glad that I did not end up opening a bunch of 6 star crystals, because if they'd gone like that, it would have been a painful day. Anyway, so I had something to put in this. I also finished 7.2 yesterday, after claiming the season rewards. And so here are those T5CC. Like I said, I used the selector on Mystic because that meant that I would form a full one and I'd be able to get Doom. That was huge. That was the number one thing. I didn't want to leave it up to chance. Pulling Cosmic here means that I'm going to form a full Cosmic. And that's also fantastic. Not that I have one to take up right away, but if, I dupe Nova, I dupe Corvus, I pull Odin in the next feature, maybe dupe him, I've got options, and that'll be fun. So then on this one, I pull more Mystic. Like I said, I use the selector on it. I really wish they put selectors in your inventory so you could open them later for exactly this reason, but they don't, and so that's okay. I'm just working towards my next Mystic, whoever that is. Open the Sigstone crystals. It's only 10, so you're not going to get much of any. I just figure that any Sigstones is better than none. So then we have the Nexus, the one 6-star I'm willing to open before the next feature. And funnily enough, there's my second MODOK of the day. But of course I picked Captain America, which I had said. I have a Science T5CC. If I was going to take him up, I would want him to be awakened. He's now awakened. He's not going to get any Sigstones anytime soon because those are very much for Reed. But you never know. I consider him usable at low Sig because even at Sig 1, he has that 40% chance, which is almost half of what he has at Sig 200. I may play around with him. He could go up, but he won't go up in the next month because one of my biggest desires for the next feature crystal is Mr. Negative. So to talk about that for a little bit, because that's why I'm not in a rush on so many of the T5CC I have, there are a whole bunch of champions in the next feature that I would happily rank 3 over some of the options I have right now. We know for sure Shang-Chi, Jabari Panther, Mr. Negative, and Odin are going to be in the next one. I think I would pretty happily give a T5CC to any of those 4, especially given some way to dupe them. I think Mr. Negative is probably the only one that I would take straight to rank 3 unduped, but we'll see what happens. We also could be getting some other interesting champions in there. Ultron just got buffed. There's a good chance he shows up in the next one. I have that Tech Catalyst. Voodoo and Medusa got added to the 6-star pool if you check your roster page and look at Unowned recently. So they might be in there. That could be that next Mystic that I just started working towards. That could be the Cosmic if I dupe her. I do have Black Bolt and Karnak as 6 stars. There could be some interesting things. War Machine. I don't think that Reed will be back despite his value update because he was in a feature recently, but a friend was pointing out Nova might be. He would be considered a miss by most, but he would be a miss that I wouldn't mind getting because, like I said, it would dupe my Nova, and then I would have another rank 3 defender, and I'd be pretty happy about that. So anyway, if you're still here, thanks for listening to me just talk about where I'm going to go with my account and my plans for rewards. Hope you enjoyed this, especially that lovely run-in with the lack of Mystic ISO there. And I will see you guys next time, probably with some 7.2 content.